President Tinubu meets with religious leaders, re-emphasizes his vision of uniting Nigeria. In compliance with federal government's directives, Plateau government distributes history textbooks to schools across the state. Plateau State Police Command parades suspects for various offenses. I am Mary Replong Domtur. This is Panorama, reaching you live from Jos. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website nta/ng and on YouTube channel NTA News Online and other social media platforms showing on your screen. In recent years, the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organizations, UNESCO, has used World Teachers' Day as a moment to celebrate educators and also as a platform to highlight critical challenges in the teaching profession, from teacher shortage and professional isolation to low remuneration and united career development opportunities. This year, the focus is on recasting teachers as a collaborative profession. Olayinka Ojo examines how government interventions align with this global call to action.
We have 52 now as our main.
A teacher is more than an instructor. They are guides, mentors, and facilitators who help learners acquire knowledge. They create positive environment that inspires curiosity, creativity, and critical thinking.
Our great man,
For Toyin, aside being a workplace, the classroom is also a space to shape young minds and nurture future leaders.
2 commercial cities in Nigeria, yes?
Lagos and Kano.
This pivotal role underscores the importance of recognizing teachers' contributions, which is why October 5th every year is celebrated globally as World Teachers' Day. From the 2024 theme, Valuing Teacher Voices Towards a New Social Contract for Education, the focus this year shifts to recasting teaching as a collaborative profession. The emphasis is on transforming the traditional model of isolated classrooms and individual labor into one that promotes teamwork and shared growth through team planning, peer mentoring, joint professional development, supportive school leadership, and formal structure that encourage collaboration. For governments, the goal is clear: to improve teachers' working conditions, professional standards, and overall well-being.
Is to create an opportunity for mentorship, to create an opportunity for sharing of experience, to create an opportunity for having access to different resources that will enable effective teaching.
The TRCN are taking a number of steps and working very hard to make registration, certification and licensing seamless.
This in turn will lead to better learning outcomes and stronger teacher retention. With more than 100 countries marking World Teachers' Day today, it's worthy noting that the day was first proclaimed in 1994 by UNESCO in collaboration with International Labour Organization, Education International, and UNICEF, following the 1966 ILO UNESCO recommendation concerning the status of teachers. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
On the Teachers' Day, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says shortage of teachers is a global challenge the world must confront with urgency by empowering educators, investing in their growth, and inspiring more to join this noble profession. In her message marking this year's World Teachers' Day, with the theme focusing on the global teacher shortage, the First Lady highlights the need to draw more attention to one of society's noble professions. Saluting teachers on their special day, the First Lady, herself a lifelong teacher, described them as true heroes who shape minds, nurture dreams, and guide generations. President Bola Tinubu says he is sticking to his long-term vision to unite Nigeria irrespective of the religious and cultural differences amongst the citizens. The president said this as he met with religious leaders in Plateau State, assures of government's effort to defeat terrorism and other forms of insecurity in Nigeria. State House correspondent Musbah Wahab reports.
President Bola Tinubu on the Plateau, the third state he would visit in barely a week. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, led National Assembly members, while Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak of Kwara State came with his colleagues to receive the president on a dual-purpose visit to Jos. And on the streets, residents of Jos displayed their love welcoming the #1 citizen. But then, beneath this warm reception, the peace in parts of the home of peace and tourism has been under threat over the years. Religious and communal crises have lingered, claiming lives and properties in parts of Plateau and other north-central states. Apparently, this is a major concern for the president. At this strategic meeting with Christian leaders in Plateau State, President Tinubu said he remains focused on fighting all forms of insecurity in Nigeria, committed to converting tragedy to success and maintaining his vision to unite Nigeria. As a Muslim and husband of a pastor, President Tinubu believes nothing speaks volume better than this of his respect for freedom of religion. He also took the message to the congregation of the Church of Christ in Nations headquarters in Jos.
Hate is not an option for us. Love is what you preach, that we should love one another. Nobody determine what God has ordained. Our deed, our character, our love to our fellow beings is what is important.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang appreciated the president for his support for combating insecurity, calling for sustained effort to end the loss of lives and properties.
While the scale of attacks has abated in recent weeks, it is far from over. I am determined more than ever to provide the leadership that will unite our people and ensure that our diversities are better managed in order to reduce the tension along traditional fault lines. We'll continue to bank on your moral and administrative support to deal with this multi-dimensional monster called insecurity.
It's making a lot of concerted efforts to see to it that at the end of the day, people in the IDP camps can return to their homes. It's quite a pity that this has gone on for decades, unchecked. But with the determination and the support of the National Assembly and all stakeholders, I believe that peace must return to the plateau. Peace must return to North Central.
President Bola Tinubu is now back in Lagos. Musbah Wahab, NC News.
Agriculture now. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari has called on investors to seize opportunities within Nigeria's agri-business sector and invest in the industry. The minister made this remark during a tour of farm plantations in Bauchi State. Musa Baba Aliyu has more.
This is the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari interacting with farmers in rural community in Bauchi State. He's inquiring about the 2025 farming season in the area and the prices of food in the rural community located a few kilometers from the state capital. Tasio Monkaila told the minister that they recorded a good harvest this year, especially in rice and sesame. The minister visited this farm belonging to the former Bauchi State Governor Adamu Ma'azu. The former governor is currently cultivating 2,670 hectares of maize and rice. The minister inspected more than 1,000 hectares of his farm. He commended the initiative and assured that the ministry will support both large and small-scale farmers under the Renewed Hope agenda.
You could see even beyond the hills are all cultivated. So this is really something that is targeted at the food security initiative of Mr. President. That clarion call.
The visit is part of the minister's initiative to encourage farmers and investors who have joined the Nigeria Agribusiness Project.
For this scale, you see, if we are to do it manually, it takes us another 3 months to harvest. And it's not easy with wildlife, fire, theft, and what have you, insecurity. It is better immediately they are ready, we get combined harvesters to come and do it.
The minister had earlier visited Nasarawa State this year. From Bauchi, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi says digital transformation in the justice sector is no longer an option but a present reality which should be embraced for its automated workflow and digital case management. This was during the 2025 Distinguished Alumni Lecture of the University of Jos. Bilkisu Nuhu has the report.
The 2025 University of Jos Distinguished Alumni Lecture drew personalities from the judicial cycle and academia from across the country, with the topic, The Nigerian Justice System in a Digital Age, Opportunities, Challenges, and the Road Ahead. The distinguished alumni lecturer, Attorney General of the Federation, and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, says the digital age through technology can revolutionize Nigeria's justice system, which allows it to be transparent and essential for building public trust. The presentation highlights the effectiveness of digital application in decentralization, reducing urban overcrowding, preserving rural economics, creating a more equitable society where geographical location no longer determines access to fundamental legal rights and protection.
At the heart of this transformation is the potential to expand access, enhance efficiency, leverage data for informed decision-making, and empower all stakeholders in the justice ecosystem. Expanded access to justice on the most significant benefits technology offers is the expansion of access to justice.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang says the lecture is apt and has laid a foundation for the younger generation and challenged students to stand on the shoulders of those before them.
The younger generation, the younger lawyers, like the learned AG said, that the next chapter on this subject is yet to be written. I pray you will be part of the story of the next generation.
Senator representing Plateau's South Senatorial District, Simon Lalong, notes that the world has become more global, including the legal profession, hence the need to adopt global trends.
Thanks to information technology, the internet and the latest developments in artificial intelligence, the bench and the bar are now transformed in ways never seen before.
Vice Chancellor, University of Jos, Professor Tanko Ishaya, and the Director, Directorate of Alumni Relations, Naandai Dabugat, applauded the alumni lecture for offering practical insights for intellectuals to contribute from their wealth of knowledge and experience. In Jos, Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
In line with the federal government's directive, Plateau State government procured history textbooks and distributed to schools across the state with a charge to benefiting institutions to ensure judicious utilization of the books. Again, Bilkisu Nuhu reports.
It will be recalled that some years ago, history as a subject in secondary schools was removed from the curriculum. However, it has been reintroduced by the federal government. In line with this development, the Plateau State government, through the Ministry of Education, procured history textbooks and distributed them to zonal and area directors for onward distribution to schools in the state. Chairman of the State Universal Basic Education Board, Subeb Sunday Amuna, and the State Secretary of the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools Owners, thanked Governor Caleb Mutfwang and the Ministry of Education for the gesture.
I want to pledge on behalf of SUBEB our total support for this work and to receive these materials, these instructional materials, with heart of gratitude.
The highlights of the event was the symbolic presentation of textbooks to beneficiaries. In Jos, Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
And we have in the studio the Plateau State Commissioner for Education, Dr. Kachalom Gang, to shed more light on the exercise. Ma, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You just watched the report on the distribution of the newly procured history textbooks to schools. Can you please shed more light on the exercise?
Thank you. Recently, the Ministry of Education distributed textbooks, history textbooks, to schools in the state. These textbooks were procured by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Plateau State, Barrister Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang. Since his first day in office as the Executive Governor of Plateau State, he had been hammering on the return of history to the school curriculum because he did not understand why the subject was removed from the curriculum. He believed strongly that if students do not know where they are coming from, they will not know where they are going to. And he believed that history was very, very important to be able to guide the younger generations to know what is happening now and how to plan for the future. It was based on that even before history was brought back to the curriculum, he ordered for the purchase of history books that will be distributed to schools in the state, even if it was just for the students to know what history, the history of their country, the history of their state. And we got a book titled Nuggets of African History, where we have 1 or 2 chapters on African history. Then we have quite a number of chapters on Nigerian history. And we have 1 chapter on the history of Plateau State.
Okay.
And these books were procured through the support of His Excellency. They were produced and they were brought to the state. And we distributed them, I think, about 3 weeks ago. What we decided as a ministry is that we will not only give the books to government schools, we gave it to all schools in the state, both government and private, because we believe that the children in these schools are all our children, and they need to know the history of Nigeria.
Okay, Ma, can you talk to the school administration, or administrators, I beg your pardon, on the utilization of the books that were distributed?
Okay, during the distribution of these books, we made it clear to school administrators that these books are to be carefully handled and they are to be kept in the schools for the use of students that will come to these schools even in the future. They are not to be given to the students to take away, because once they go with the books, others behind them will not have the privilege of reading through the books. We instructed them to put some of these books in their library and to keep them safe in the school. Give it to the students for use during history lessons, collect them back, so that when students are graduating from the schools, they will leave the books back in the school for sets that are coming after them to also utilize the books.
Okay, are there history teachers in schools, or they are going to be employed?
There are history teachers in schools right now, because history was a subject before. And when history was removed from the curriculum, the teachers were made to teach other social science subjects. But now that history is back, the teachers will go back to teaching history. We have quite a number of history teachers in our schools. And the higher institutions have continued to graduate teachers with specialization in history.
Okay.
So I believe we have teachers that can handle these books and teach our students Nigerian history, African history, and the history of Plateau State.
So we have been speaking with the Plateau State Commissioner for Education, Dr. Kachalom Gang, who shed more light on the exercise of the distribution of textbooks in Plateau State. Panorama will continue after the break. Plateau State Police Command Plateau State Police Command has paraded 9 suspects for various offenses in Jos. State Commissioner of Police Emmanuel Adesina gave this indication while briefing newsmen on the recent operations of the command. Priscilla Grumnan has more.
As their operations led to the arrest of suspects and recovery of arms and ammunition. The suspects were arrested for kidnapping, possession of locally fabricated guns, as well as armed robbery.
All aware of cases of kidnapping, violent crimes. But today I'm here with a good news that the command, through our relentless efforts, we have made a lot of breakthroughs.
Commissioner of Police assured citizens of continuous efforts to track down other members of the gangs and recover more weapons.
I'm assuring our people in Plateau State that the command is not sleeping. We are aware of some cases of kidnapping and we are following up. And the command will not rest until the last kidnapper will be arrested. And we are working on this to ensure that we work together with other security agencies to make the state safe for all our people.
In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
Nasarawa United maintained their impressive dominance in the Nigeria Football League, climbing to the top of the table after a narrow 1-0 away victory over Bendel Insurance. For the full details and other sports stories, let's join Suleiman Musa on Sports Updates.
Nasarawa United continued their impressive run of form this season, climbing to the top of the Nigerian Premier Football League table after match day 7, courtesy of a hard-fought 1-0 away victory over Bendel Insurance. Elsewhere, El Kanemi Warriors secure a vital win on Saturday against Kano Pillars. Action continues on Sunday as Rangers lock horns with Katsina United, Shooting Stars host Plateau United, Eyimba battle Rivers United, while Abia Warriors play away to Kwara United in Ilori to wrap up the weekend's fixtures. In the English Premier League, Crystal Palace, still unbeaten this season, face Everton on Sunday, while Newcastle United host Nottingham Forest. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City will be guests to Brentford at the G-Tech Community Stadium. On Saturday, Arsenal climbed to the summit of the EPL table following a 2-0 win over West Ham. Meanwhile, champions Liverpool suffer a 2-1 defeat to Chelsea, their third consecutive loss under new manager Arne Slot. Manchester United bounced back from a slow start to the season with a convincing 2-0 victory over Sunderland. Nigeria's Flying Eagles are set for a make-or-break encounter against Colombia in their final Group F fixture at the ongoing 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile. The crucial tie, slated for Monday, October 6, will determine qualification for the knockout stage, with just a narrow margin separating the top 3 teams in the group. Nigeria lost their opening match 1-0 to Norway, but bounced back with a 3-2 victory over Saudi Arabia, sitting third in the standings with 3 points. In tennis, Tayo Adesoji has pledged to reposition the Nigerian Table Tennis Federation (NTTF) for improved performance both locally and internationally. Adesoji, formerly the federation's vice president, was elected president of the NTTF Elective Congress held on Saturday at the VIP Center of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja.
So this is another opportunity to do more for the game and help those that are not at our level, that are talented, to realize their talent and at the same time make a better living. You know, for us, it's about helping people. It's about giving back to the society.
He will lead the federation for the next 4 years. With Sports Update, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
Has been Panorama today from Jos. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.